mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, increase steadily your own aspiration. Try to perfect your consecration to the Divine, and your life will be arranged for you. With always our love and blessings, says our Divine Mother.
Au sein du silence et de l'ombre, brûle la lampe qui ne s'éteint point, le feu de l'ardente aspiration. Te connaître et te vivre.
Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, Book 1, The Book of Beginnings, Canto 4, The Secret Knowledge, page 76, last line. The Absolute, the Perfect, the Alone, has called out of the silence his mute force, where she lay in the featureless and formless hush, guarding from time by her immobile sleep the ineffable puissance of his solitude. The Absolute, the Perfect, the Alone, has entered into his silence, into space. He has fashioned these countless persons of one self. He lives in all who lived in his vast alone. Space is himself, and time is only he. The Absolute, the Perfect, the Immune, one who is in us as our secret self, our mask of imperfection has assumed. He has made this tenement of flesh his own, his image in the human measure cast, that to his divine measure we might rise. Then, in a figure of divinity, the Maker shall recast us and impose a plan of Godhead on the mortal's mould, lifting our finite minds to his infinite, touching the moment with eternity. This transfiguration is earth's due to heaven. A mutual debt binds man to the Supreme. His nature we must put on as he puts ours. We are sons of God and must be even as he. His human portion we must grow divine. Our life is a paradox with God for King.
न तद्भासयत सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धा भासयत सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम नारायणेवेदं सर्वं नारायणेवेदं सर्वं नारायणपरायणं परं नारायणपरमब्रह्मं
Mother, taken from the collective works of our Divine Mother, Volume 2, Book Words of the Divine Mother, page 240, Weaknesses. First subtopic, Fear. Our Divine Mother says fear is always a very bad advisor. It is the fear, more or less conscious, which does almost all the mischief. Do not fear. Keep your confidence. All these troubles will leave you. Stop fearing, and the bothers will also stop. A child of mine cannot fear. My protection is always with you, and nothing bad can happen. But you must take the decision to shake off the fear, and then my force can work fully. Do not torment yourself. Do not worry. Above all, try to banish all fear. Fear is a dangerous thing which can give importance to something which had none at all. The mere fear of seeing certain symptoms renew themselves is enough to bring alone this repetition. Our Divine Mother says, this fear comes from weakness of nerves and of the vital. This fear must be got rid of because any attempts is to be made is to follow the path of yoga. Yoga and fear do not go together. What can he fear who belongs to the divine? Can he not walk, his soul expanding his illumined upon the path? The divine traces for him, whatever it may be, even if it is altogether incomprehensible to his limited reason. All fear must be overcome and replaced by a total confidence in the divine grace, says our Divine Mother. There is nothing to fear. All is the Lord. There is nothing else than the Lord. The Lord alone exists, and all that tries to frighten us is only a silly and meaningless disguise of the Lord. Cheer up. The way is open before you. Shake off this obsession of illness and bring down the divine calm, then everything will be all right. Next subtopic, doubt. Our Divine Mother says, doubt is not a sport to indulge in with impunity. It is a poison which drop by drop corrodes the soul. We must decide to get rid of all doubts. They are among the worst enemies of our progress. Next subtopic, depression. Question, sweet mother, how to avoid attacks of depression? Our Divine Mother says, do not pay any attention to the depression and act as if it was not there. Sweet mother, my heart feels arid, sad and gloomy, sweet mother. For this, our Divine Mother says, why don't you try to read something beautiful and interesting and turn your attention away from yourself? That is the best remedy. Do not indulge in such ridiculous ideas. Madness and hell and dark cell are all in your imagination. You had better replace them by the sense of love and blessings. It is the devil of depression and despondency that we shall lay tonight, so that all those who have the sincere will to get rid of this disease will receive the necessary help to conquer. A depression is always unreasonable as it leads nowhere. It is the most subtle enemy of integral yoga. I have only one thing to say, says our Divine Mother. Depression is a bad advisor. My love is always with you. Have faith and you will be all right. It is the depression that gives you bad health, says our Divine Mother. It is the ego that gets depressed. Do not mind it. Go on quietly with your work and the depression will disappear. At these moments of depression or revolt, no fresh decision must be taken under the impulse of the wrong moment, but practically one must go on with the usual routine, quiet and undisturbed. Our Divine Mother says, when you feel unhappy like that, it means that you have a progress to make. You can say that we always need to progress. It is true. But at times, our nature gives its consent to the needed change, and then everything goes smoothly, even happily. On the contrary, sometimes the part that has to progress refuses to move and clings to its old habits through inertia, ignorance, attachment, or desire. Then, under the pressure of the perfecting force, the struggle starts translating itself into unhappiness or a revolt or both together. The only remedy is to keep quiet, look within oneself honestly to find out what is wrong, and to set work courageously to put it right. The divine consciousness will always be there to help you if your endeavor is sincere. And the more sincere your endeavor, the more the divine consciousness will help and assist you. Our Divine Mother says, periods of obscuration are frequent and common. Generally, it is enough to keep quiet without worrying, knowing that these are the spiritual nights which alternate with the full light of the days. But to be able to remain in peace, you must keep in your heart gratitude towards the Divine for all the help He gives. If gratitude also is veiled, the obscure periods last much longer. There is, however, a swift and effective remedy. It is to keep always burning in your heart the flame of purification, the aspiration for progress, the intensity, the ardor of consecration. This flame is kindled in the heart of all who are sincere. You must not let ingratitude cover it up with its ashes. Our Divine Mother says, you must remember one thing. The dark periods are inevitable. When your psychic is active, you feel a delight without any apparent reason. It continues for some time, and again the same mental or the vital reactions come in, and you go back to the darkness. This will continue. The brighter days will become longer, and the darker periods will come after long intervals and for short duration till they finally disappear. Till then, you must know that the sun is there behind the clouds, and you need not have to worry. You must have the confidence of a child, a confidence that there is someone who takes care of you and you can entirely depend on him. Next subtopic, suffering. Our Divine Mother says, my word to you is, do not cherish suffering, and suffering will leave you altogether. Suffering is far from being indispensable to progress. The greatest progress is made through a steady and cheerful equanimity. The world is full of sufferings and sorrows. One must try never to be the cause of any additional suffering. The only remedy for all human suffering is the divine love. Turn towards the divine, all your sufferings will disappear. Do not take the sorrows of life for what they seem to be. They are in truth a way to greater achievements, says our Divine Mother. Next subtopic, material desires. Our Divine Mother says, do not expect any satisfaction from physical life, and you will be more tied to it. For our passage in the material world, what is indispensable to our life and action is put at our disposal according to the place we should occupy there. The more we are consciously in contact with our inner being, the more exactly are the means we are given. What is truly needed will surely come. Things must be asked for only what truly needed. What bad is slavery? Slavery to abstinence as well as slavery to needs. What comes we take, but always be ready to let it go, for it goes, says our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, refuse to do anything whatsoever which leads you away from the divine. If you want to become conscious of my presence in you and to be delivered from the hostile attacks, you must renounce any attempt to satisfy your desires. Only when the vital has lost all hope of seeing its desires satisfied does it consent to be spiritualized. My help and blessings are always with you. A desire which knows that it will never be satisfied at once vanishes. There is no greater victory than that of controlling oneself. Keep quiet, try to detach yourself and observe as a witness to prevent any possibility of acting on impulse. Do not act under an impulse. Never forget that at every moment you are put in the presence of a choice between the grace and your personal satisfaction, says our Divine Mother.